How's it going, everybody? So, quite an ambitious video I just put out on this Bible study channel concerning Antichrist Trump and all the well, it's 1/10 or 1/20th. It would take me a 3 or 4 hour video to show you everything, but it's pretty good. It's on my Facebook and it's on this channel, so check it out before it gets buried. Email it to yourself in a folder. Anyway, for he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters, and he brake the bands and was driven of the devil into the wilderness. And Jesus asked him, saying, "What is thy name?" And he said, "Legion," because many devils were entered into him. And they besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. And there was there an herd of many swine feeding on the mountain, and they besought him that he would suffer them to enter into the swine, once he cast them out of the man. And Jesus allowed that. He suffered them, so he allowed the spirits to go into the swine. And when the devils out of the man and entered into the swine, and the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake, and they were, of course, drowned. And they that fed them saw what was done. They fled and went and told in the city and round about the countryside. And they went out to see what was done, and came to Jesus and found the man of whom, possessed all these devils. He was sitting at the feet of Jesus, clothed in his right mind. And they were afraid when they saw this. And also, which saw it, told them by what means he that was possessed of the devils was then what? Healed. And that's what Jesus does with all of his sheep. Remember, all of these miracles were signs of what Jesus was going to do to his church after he departed. And he gives us eyes to see, ears to hear. The deaf, the dumb are able to speak. We speak the truth. When we hear the truth, we know it. We speak the truth. We see the truth. When we read it, we understand it. Leprosy was a form of sin. So all of Jesus's miracles, pretty much most all of them, I would imagine, if not all of them in one way or another, were parallels also to what he would be doing in his church. Then the whole multitude of the country, of the gardeners, the country of the gardeners, roundabout, I'm not really sure what that is, and besought him to depart from them, and they were taken with great fear, and he went up into the ship and returned back again. Let's keep going in Daniel 4, Nebuchadnezzar's story about how he was the king of Babylon, how Jesus called him out of the world. I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and an holy one came down from heaven, and he cried and said thus, hew down the tree. Now this tree, by the way, is Nebuchadnezzar, and he's going to be dealt with by the Lord for 7 years. He's going to be given the mind of a beast, and his nails are going to grow long, his hairs are going to grow long, and he's going to be humbled and eat like a beast, like an oxen out in the grass fields for what we think the 7 is 7 years by the length of his hair and nails and so forth. And then the Lord brings him back, and then he's humbled, and he reveres God. Finally, he is a changed man. That's how the Lord deals with all of his sheep. He humbles us and then makes us his. He was a sheep moving forward because he wrote Daniel chapter 4. This chapter I'm reading is an autobiography by Nebuchadnezzar. He opened up the beginning of the chapter, telling you it was him. Sometimes he refers to himself as in the third person in this chapter, and other times, of course, the first person. So anyway, nevertheless, Hew down the tree, cut off its branches, shake off the leaves, scatter its fruit. Let the beast get away from under it, and the fowls from his branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, and the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven. Let his portion be with the beast and the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from a man's, and let a beast heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. This matter is a decree by the watchers, angels, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and he set up over it the basest of men. Nothing is done on this earth by any of man's free will. All these great people you see around you, it was given to them. God's ordained the end from the beginning. Everything is set. The rich were born to be rich from before the foundation of the world. Sheep were born to be sheep. Goats were born to be goats. Sheep are born lost. Poor were meant to be poor. Addicts were meant to be addicts. You're born that way no matter what way you're born, what way you live. It was done unto you before the earth was even formed. And if you're not a sheep, then the Lord has put Satan over you to run your life. As Jesus said to them, "You're of your father, the devil." And we don't know today who is a lost sheep. They might appear like a goat, like I did when I was an astrologer and of the that city-state there in Rome, Italy, that has a one-man leader, right? 4-letter word is his name, begins with a P. That was my religion all through childhood up until I was around 50, basically. Even though I was reading the Bible since 2002. Thanks to going to Warner Southern, I was reading it out of New Living Translation, and I knew everything was a calling, but I still believed in free will until 2017. The Lord started calling me out of the world in 2012, but he gave me the truth about election predestination in 2017. And it's been a humbling experience ever since. This dream I, Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now, though, O Belteshazzar, who is Daniel, of course, declare the interpretation thereof, for as much as all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but thou art able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in thee. Of course, by the end of this, he will know of the one true God. We'll continue this tomorrow. Love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.